Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Many, many years ago, I used to abuse and misuse this word. I would say to my friends, this is literally my favorite book. Or I would say, I'm so tired, I'm literally going to drop dead. And my sister one time said, you know you're using that word wrong, right? When you say you're literally going to drop dead, you're saying you're going to die. And I looked at her, and I was really exasperated, and I said, you know what I mean, it's just a figure of speech. And as I said that, I realized the flaw of that word. I'm using the word literally to explain a figure of speech. It's the exact opposite. And so began my quest to stop misusing the word literally. The word literally has been misused by so many people for so long that, get this, if you look up the word literally in the dictionary, the wrong definition of literally is actually accepted as the alternate definition. I looked it up. The informal definition of literally, used for emphasis or to express strong feeling while not being literally true. Let's read that one more time. Used for emphasis or to express strong feeling while not being literally true. Definition of literally explains something that's not literally true. Let's take another adverb for example, joyfully. Can you imagine if the word joyfully meant to describe an emotion that's not joyful? This is preposterous. My fellow Toastmasters, as leaders and speakers, we have the responsibility to safeguard the English language from this kind of craziness. And the only way that we can do that is to take on the role of grammarian and take it outside of these walls and actually be grammarians out in the world beyond our four walls here. Tactfully, of course. The first step to fixing any problem is to identify the problem. What does literally mean in its original definition? In a literal sense or manner, such as A, in a way that uses the ordinary or primary meaning of a term or expression. So what's an example of that? I'm going to give you a bit of a weird example, but it'll get the point across. So imagine you are involved with some shady black market business, and you find out that there is a potion out there for which, if you drink it, you can live forever. And you believe the dealer, so you say, okay, what's it going to cost me? And the dealer tells you, I just need you to go over there, cut off that person's limbs, and bring them back to me. And so you say, okay, well, I can live forever, so all right. So you go, cut off these person's limbs, and you bring it back to the potion dealer, and he gives you the potion, and you give him the severed limbs. That potion literally cost you an arm and leg. Now, an example of B would just be, there are translations from one language to another that are oftentimes not well translated, and so you can say the literal translation of a word is this. Now, most people don't use literally in this fashion anymore. There are actually a lot more examples of the misuse of literally. Can you believe it? She literally got cold feet 10 minutes before the wedding. I literally wouldn't be caught dead wearing that dress. I actually drew that. This is literally mind-numbing. All of these actually mean to say figuratively. This is figuratively mind-numbing. I figuratively wouldn't be caught dead. Can you believe it? She figuratively got cold feet, because we're not actually referring to the literal cold feet. But we don't use the word figuratively in there because it's assumed and understood that those are figures of speech and not actual literal translations. Now there's some other uses of the word literally that are a little bit harder to catch because it's not as obvious as this. I literally just got here 5 minutes ago. You literally just said that. He literally said that to me. Can you believe it? In these examples, these are just used for emphasis. We're trying to say, I seriously just got here. I actually just got here. And a lot of times people use this as emphasis, and so it's hard for us to really catch. It's become so steeped in our understanding that we think that this is the right use of literally, and it takes a second to undo that change. And sometimes what I like to do to make sure it's the proper use or not is I basically put figuratively in there and see if it makes any sense. Is there another definition of this that would make sense? I figuratively just got here 5 minutes ago? No. You figuratively just said that? Is there figuratively to say something? No. Same with this. He figuratively said that to me. And that tells you that there's no need to use the word literally. You're probably using it as an emphasis, or someone is using it as an emphasis in the wrong way. So what's the solution? How do we stop this garbage use of literally? Well, here's one solution. We can all buy one of these bells. And as we walk around, you can just ding, 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 and let people know that they're using it wrong. That probably wouldn't go over so well. Honestly, it's not easy. Undoing a bad habit, as Joe was talking about, is difficult to do. There are many steps. There are many methods and tools that you can use. As a matter of fact, my sister, who was the one that got me on this quest, she came to visit about a year ago, and as we were talking, she misused the word literally. And it totally turned my world upside down. I said, hey, you were the one that made me this way. This is why I get crazy about literally. You just misused it. And she's like, really? Did I ever say that? I don't even remember that. At the end of the day, I think it's important that we are aware of the changes that are happening in our language and that we make a conscious effort to go along with it or not. And that informed decision belongs to you. Just know that if you do misuse this word around me, I'll be squirming inside. And this is how I will be feeling.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. And Viviana, it's so great to have you back. You gave Project 9, your Project 9 speech, Persuade with Power. And the primary objective of a persuasive speech is to influence the thinking or behavior of your audience. You want them to act on your ideas. So did you succeed in your quest to persuade us to think about using the word literally and hopefully not use it in our language? And I think the answer is yes. You did it both figuratively and literally. Your speech was well prepared, and kudos to you for doing the drawings on your presentations. Those were great. I loved your literal examples. It was well organized. We were able to follow what you were saying, and you stated problems and gave solutions. It was well presented. You had great presence and body language, good use of humor, and non-garbage use of grammar, which I appreciated that term. A couple of suggestions. Even though you are a confident speaker, Viviana, I noticed that you did look at your notes quite a bit, and that was one of the objectives too. Not a main one, but an objective as a persuasive speaker. You don't need notes. So I would say really drop the notes. I did notice a couple of lip smacks, and we talked about your speed, and I think you can still slow down even a little more. But other than that, it was a wonderful speech, and I look forward to your final project in the Competent Communicator Manual. Thank you.